There we go. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good... What's today? Wednesday? Glad to see so many of you already here in the chat. Let me turn my mic down just a bit. I think we're a bit loud. Long time no see. Long time no see. Had to take a little bit of a break. Just a quick backstory for all of you guys that were kind of wondering, where's Mariano at? Where's 2020 at? Of course, earlier in the year, there was a whole lot going on with Dogecoin especially, so I was live pretty much every day. But for me, it's quality over quantity, and as the market slowed down, I didn't want to go live every day for no reason. If I didn't have anything to really talk about, I want to bring you guys good information. So at work, I took the last 2 weeks of December off, so I just figured take a break and sideways. Might as well not look at the charts, right, for those same 2 weeks. But now things are starting to pick back up, so I'm looking forward to having some exciting streams and really bring you guys some relevant information for 2022 here. So now this isn't maybe the start that everybody wanted for 2022 for their crypto portfolios, but guys, as you can see by the thumbnail, crypto is starting to crash right now. Now we're about to talk about exactly what that means. We're going to talk about if we're going to recover, what the likelihood of that is, but we did just break below key levels of support, and because of that, we started to see some insane sell-offs in the market. Bitcoin down to about 43K right now. Dogecoin just broke under 15 cents, guys. 15. We know that 16 cents was the strong level of support, and it just broke below that to 15, and it touched 14 cents not too long ago. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll address some of your comments here in the chat, and then of course we can get rolling like we always do. Don't forget to show your support. I never ask for money or donations, even though you can do that. Please, the free way to support the channel is going to be clicking the like button so YouTube shares this stream with other people, and that's really all I ask for. So let's go ahead and share the charts. As you can see right now, I'm looking at the 30-minute chart right here, and I'll read some of your comments in just a second. Glad to see all of you guys, and it does make me happy to know you guys were waiting for me to go back live. So what's going on to all of my OGs and all of my supporters? Glad to see you all. But let me just get rid of this purple box here. But first, let's take a look at what this signifies, because this has been here for probably a couple months now, this purple box. This is kind of the area of the discount area, where as long as we stay in here, there's probably no reason to get incredibly concerned, because yes, we have resistance right about here, right? And so if we're trading in here, we're in a bearish area, but the support level on the bottom end of this is going to be right here at about 42K. So as long as we're above 42K, yeah, we're in bearish territory, but it's not the end of the world. But if we start getting comfortable below that, and we start entering even into the red zone over here, that's where things get really sketchy. And I mean, we could be in for a really nasty crash. And I'm not just talking Bitcoin to 40,000. I'm talking Bitcoin to 30, Bitcoin to 20s or worse, right? And we can't write it off. I mean, we probably wrote it off last year, and then we saw what happened with the pandemic as things started to get worse. Now with the Omicron variant, people are getting concerned again. And we won't get too much into that, but it does have an effect on the markets. But anyway, there's some other things going on I do want to talk about. Let me say what's up to you guys real quick. Chosen One says, long time. Yes, long time no see, man. Glad to see you. Welcome back to the stream. What's going on, El Bosch? Let's see. Mariano, been busy buying up this dip. Actually, I have not been buying very much over the last couple weeks. I mean, I tell you guys what I'm going to do, and I'm very transparent. Every time Dogecoin's sitting at about 19 cents and things look decent, then I'm usually going to be buying some Doge. That's what I'm really bullish on. I like Dogecoin a lot. There's a couple other projects too, like Cardano, which I usually buy a little bit of, and Ethereum too, just because once ETH2 comes, I think that Ethereum's going to have another boom. But I always, once we hit about that Dogecoin to 16 cent area, or ADA to like really low under 150s, I usually throw a couple bucks in there. But over these last couple weeks, I've been really slow to add money to any positions because things are a little concerning, right? And I've made sure in our Discord group that I made that very clear, that things are concerning, and here's what I'm doing, right? So just keeping all you in the loop. So it has been a long time. What's up, Daniel? Toby says, I was legit wondering if everything was okay. Anyway, someone please take Bitcoin away, ruining everyone's party. I am good. I'm still here. Bitcoin had a hard fall earlier. Yes, and it just took another tumble. Matic is doing pretty good considering. Oh, sweet. Well, hey, glad to hear that you're up. That is a pretty significant gain there. Tickle Me says, I'm actually curious if Bitcoin's going to go any lower than 41K. And again, thank you, Tickle Me, for supporting and being one of the members of our Discord group. And same for Daniel. Even through the slow times, really appreciate you guys' support. But yeah, that's the question, right? And we'll do the TA on this in just a second to see what's probable. Good chance I will continue to do. The Pimped Out Platypus says, good chance I'll continue to do what I've been doing for the last year or more. And Hodl, good call. Truth Please, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Says, thoughts on Curve DAO. Happy 2022. Thank you. Happy New Yeet. Yes, long time Professor Kovidov. You guys are funny. Hey, nice to see you back too, James. Thoughts on Curve. I hear a lot of people talking about that, and there's a lot of people bullish on that. I don't know too much about that personally. I'll have to look it up a little bit, but from what I'm hearing, positive things. Toby says, wait, I thought people were for sure Bitcoin would hit 100K by December. Hey, man. I said from the beginning, and I got some controversy for it too. I did not think Bitcoin was hitting 100K in 2021. All right. And sometimes I am a little controversial just because I like to go against the crowd. But that's also what the market does a lot of the time too. Right. So when everyone thinks that the market's going to the moon is usually when big money and people that have been in since the beginning start to think, all right, it's time for me to sell. And when they sell, you know, we do have a move up, right, off the hype that everyone's generating, but it doesn't go to where everyone's thinking. Usually there's some kind of pullback. And fundamentally, I think Bitcoin could be worth 100K and beyond, just to be honest, as a project. But at the same time, you've got to consider, technicals aside, project aside, economics and fear, just people being scared about losing their money, right? And so when bad things start to happen in the market, you can have a great project, but if people aren't in the buy mode because they're hearing bad news around the globe, they're panicked that people are going to be losing employment and that people are going to need to sell their positions to cover, and so they end up bearish on the crypto or stock market. Those project, those pluses that the projects have, they don't hold much weight because people are at the end of the day still scared, and so that's really what matters the most. Hey, what's up, Dougie? But, you know, I didn't doubt that Bitcoin could hit 100K by the end of the year. It definitely could have, and it could be sitting at 150 right now. I wouldn't have even been surprised. But with all the news, the infrastructure bill, the COVID not being over, Evergrande news, and just a whole lot of everyone being bullish, there was just a lot of red flags. And so I was thinking just a little more probable that we don't hit. And I happen to be right on that one, but there was a high chance I'd be wrong there. I just tell the truth. It is what it is. I don't care if I'm right or not. So, appreciate all your support. Preezy says, Mariano, stop being a trader and be a YouTuber, the reverse of the classic. Oh, yes. I like that. I'll try to be a YouTuber a little more. What's up, Invu? And glad to see you back and active. Good stuff. What's up, Peter? This Fed's is really bad. Oh, you mean the FUD? Oh, where's the money going? I think people are just selling right now and cashing out. Holding on to cash usually isn't the best, but what's up, Mr. Zeno? Glad to see you. Ray says, Happy New Year all. The market's not looking good for the bulls. It sure isn't. Not at the moment. If Bitcoin dropped to 20K, I would move money around and become a full coiner. Yeah, I probably would too. My SafeMoon's up. My Evergrow coin has been doing really good at 8.0. Oh, awesome. Hey, glad to hear that. And guys, as we go through this discussion, obviously I don't want the whole stream to be negative, so I am going to talk about the crash, but I also had some other things prior to this crash today that I wanted to talk about in this stream because I was still going live today regardless. I want to talk about NFTs. I want to talk about some other projects too. So if you have any projects right now that you're super bullish on for legitimate reasons, and I'm not just talking about the next hype coin that has no fundamental value, but if you know a good project that you really think is going to take off for some valid reason, please go ahead, drop it in the chat, talk about why you think it's a good idea, share it, because I want to talk about some things, but I also would like to see, you know, just share the wealth with everybody else in the chat. Thank you guys for all those likes too. I do appreciate it. Oh, there's a Fed report which was really bad. It's definitely not the people selling. Ah, okay. Now I will say one thing that I've been hearing, and I'll have to do a little more research into this too, but it just doesn't sound good. Just a lot of concern about Tether and how that Tether is potentially just printing money to support Bitcoin, right? So printing fake money out of thin air and then using it to pump up Bitcoin's price to keep it from dumping. I've been hearing that a lot, and people have been taking like some snippets and screenshots of potential evidence that they're doing that, and they usually or at least the people that are a fan of Tether, they usually defend it, but I don't know. Definitely a little concerning. Alright guys, well, without too much more delay, Prezi says Algo. Hey, that's a good one we could probably talk about. Without too much further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here from a technical perspective and maybe set some expectations for what could happen here over the next couple minutes, hours, days, however long it takes. We know Bitcoin really likes to take its time before it chooses the next move it's going to make. So it could be any one of those before something else happens. It could be minutes or it could be weeks again. And here's why I say this. So, oh, my bad. Sorry about that. As you can see here, now we're on the daily time chart. I'm going to delete this purple box here. And I'm going to delete this purple line. Spell. Says Danvier. Cool. Yeah, guys, keep dropping them if you want. If you have questions, drop those. If you have coin recommendations, drop those. And I will definitely loop around to those and address them. My computer's lagging though, so please hold. Need to turn my graphics card down a little before my computer crashes. It's doing a little too much. Cool. So as you can see, this is Bitcoin here, and we're looking at this on the daily time frame here. All right, daily time frame. I don't really go to weekly for really any reason, unless I don't have any more levels to look at, because I mean, if you look at the weekly, this is Bitcoin all time starting from 2015. And this doesn't give you very much information, right? A little bit of information, but not enough to really look at for any extended period of time. Monthly, quarterly, yearly, pretty useless. So daily is about the highest I go. And on the daily chart, you can still see a lot of valuable information. Now, I'm just going to delete all the lines, and I'm going to leave up the indicator that I use here. As you guys probably know, I'm looking at the EMAs. So we've got the 50 EMA, the 100 EMA in yellow, and the 200 EMA in red. The 200 EMA being the main indicator of long-term value that everyone has kind of shown that they have assigned to Bitcoin, right? So if we're above that indicator, we're usually even more bullish than we would have thought. If we're under that indicator, then we're actually below what the current average value is that most people have assigned to it as of today. And then the shorter time frame EMAs just tend to average out the price much closer to the current price movement. So the 50 is just kind of averaging a much shorter period of time and what the average price was in that shorter period of time. For anybody that isn't familiar with moving averages. So we really care about the red line the most, but the other ones give us some other good insight, and they can show us like the death cross, the golden cross, other indicators, whatever. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is the fact that ever since 2020, let me zoom out just a little more. You see here from pretty much 2015 to 2016, price movement was pretty stale in the couple hundreds of bucks. Then 2016 to 2017 is when we really saw the big move from a couple $100 to like 1,000 up to 20,000, massive movement. Then we had over the next couple years here, 2017 to 2019, a sell-off for 2 years. then a big spike up, and then a sell-off. And then we finally saw, come 2020, almost 2021, we really saw the next big move. And it's the first time that we broke into a new high ever since 2017's hype. All right. So what we ended up seeing here, the price moved all the way from 10,000 up to 65 before it really did a significant pullback for like a year's time or anything like that, or a couple months. So 10,000 all the way up to 65. In that time, the move was so significant that, as you can see here, when we've been trending, the price has tended to want to gravitate back towards the 200 EMA on the weekly time frame, really towards the 100 EMA on the weekly time frame here. All right, because you can see we broke away, we pulled back, rode it, had a bit of a sell-off, and we came back, found support there, did a breakout, came back, found support, breakout, came back, found support, and then we had some significant movement. Ever since then, ever since we left $15,000 to $20,000 again at the end of 2020, we have been on this massive bull run. Even if you consider the pullback here that we had during this recent crash down to like 29,000, we were still not back at the 100 EMA on the weekly time frame. We still didn't even get a touch there, let alone a pullback deeper towards the 200 EMA again, like we saw always happen here, right? Big move up, pull back to the 100, and then another continuation downward to where we just went barely under the 200, probably spooked people out a little, and then we took off again. Happened there, and happened here, and then here, right? And then there was some more activity. In this recent move, super bullish, everybody's going crazy, right? But we have not had that healthy pullback to the 100 EMA on the 100 time frame here, on the weekly time frame, and definitely not yet to the 200. We've only hit the 50, and we've kind of teetered in between the 50 and the 100 here. What that tells me, and this is from a pure, we're not even talking about what's going on around the world, right? That's making people feel bearish, just technicals. From a purely technical standpoint, on this indicator, that's telling me that we are probably due for some more selling off so that we can get more people in at the dip that they may be expecting us to pull back to. Because if you understand price movement, you realize that the only reason that price goes up or the price goes down is because people expect the price to go in one of those directions, and so they act accordingly. And when you have more people expecting the same thing, the price will go quicker in that direction. So if we have more people looking at these charts and saying, oh, we're due for a pullback, and then we have people saying, we already got our pullback and we're going to take off, then you're going to see people start to sell or go short in favor of what they believe, and then the price will move accordingly. So just looking at that from a TA perspective, probably people are feeling like anywhere from 24 to 35K is where they want to consider a next buy-in if we are to sell off. So that's one thing to consider. So I'm just going to put this box here. If we continue to sell off and we don't recover right now, this is probably the next zone that I'd really be considering. 35, I'll just say 36 to be safe. 36K to 25K. Now I don't usually use the weekly too much, so I'm not going to look at it too much for now. And let's just go back to the daily time frame. And you look here, another thing that I always notice, if you look historically at Bitcoin's price movement and you have these 3 EMA bands up, something always happens, whether the price is going up or down. On the daily time frame, you see this happen. See how these 3 bands on the bearish side expand, and then they contract, and then they cross, and then they expand and go wide again, and then they contract and cross again, they go bearish, they go bullish, bearish, bullish, and they keep doing that opening and closing movement, right? Now you can kind of see that pattern happen. If you look here, and that's healthy price movement. You get ebbs and flows, and even though you could be trending in a certain direction, you know, like here, for example, from here to here, and I'll do a trend line for anybody that doesn't trust me, right? From here to here, this was an uptrend. Technically, this was an uptrend, but within that uptrend on the daily time frame, you had movement to the upside, to the downside, upside, even further down to the downside, upside, you know. And even here with this movement here, there was still expand, pullback, and then moves like that. If you take a look at Bitcoin just recently though, we've been so bullish that we got this massive expansion here to where it looks super overextended. What ended up happening? Correction. So we got this pullback and everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to crash. Bitcoin's going to go to zero. But this was really a healthy, even though it was forced by bad news. So it was a bit of a panic sell-off. It was actually a healthy correction at the same time because we needed it to happen at some point or another. We had been going up and not pulling back for way too long, too fast. We were kind of in a parabolic move here on the daily time frame. So even though it took a year, when you're looking at the time frame here and the movement overall, we never had a healthy pullback. So that was kind of parabolic. Then we get the healthy pullback here when we get the market crash. Tesla drops Bitcoin, says it's not safe for the environment, and China starts putting out their bad news that makes people panic. So then we got the healthy correction, and we could see here, big dip, held down here, and we got the cross back to the downside, and then we got the healthy movement back up. And now we are potentially going to see another cross to the downside here. That's just the way it's looking. Now it does, as you can see here, it doesn't have to cross and pull back under, but when we have healthy movement, it does happen. And when it does happen, people usually say, oh, we have, you know, a death cross right here. Uh-oh, that means we're going to go down. Let's sell or let's go short to make profit off the down move. And so right here, you can see here a bit of a death cross here. 50 went under the 100 on the daily time frame. And so people right now are in their bearish mindset already. Now, that's just one thing. And if we are to do the normal healthy correction process, that means it is very likely that we could see some more selling off, or at least some more trading sideways here in this general area between, I'd say, 35-ish and 45 to 50K. So this big area down here, we could actually see some more trading here until the EMAs, that's a really ugly box. It's very distracting. Okay. Until the EMAs, you know, come down here, get the healthy pullback, and then decide to cross for another continuation. So from a purely technical standpoint, this could continue for that reason. Another reason this could continue is because we are on the bearish side of support provided by the EMA levels. The 200 EMA on the daily time frame and the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame are the two strongest 200 EMAs because that's what most traders use. Institutional investors are usually on the 4-hour, and some institutional investors and retail traders use the daily as well. So we're on the bearish side of both of those, and we're hitting them as if they're resistance consistently on the underside. We're like stuck under there. So for that reason, from a technical perspective, people are also thinking bearish here. So that's another reason that we're probably stuck under. And here's another reason. I'm just loading you up with all the info right now. Here's another reason. So as you can see, after this pullback, after we hit 69,000 here, this pullback stalled out right at about 45.3, 45.4. And we were starting to find some support here and potentially do what looked like a double bottom. So if we were to just pretend, and this is what I was talking about recently in the Discord group, if we just put a box here and make it a dark color and just pretend like you can't see what's in those boxes, and we are only going to look at what is here. We're only going to look at what's sitting right here. If you just look at what's in the blue, you can see we had the pullback, we traded to the downside, and then we started finding support right here at about this $45,500 level. Then we had a strong bounce up, hit this as resistance, right? That's why I like these indicators here. They just show potential support or resistance on the other side. And then we had a pullback right back to these same levels, and we found support again. So what almost ended up happening was we almost had a double bottom reversal scenario play out here, to where we had the major sell-off, we recovered, and then we did 1, 2, and we were going to have like that W recovery, which is the double bottom. And then we could have seen a breakout to the upside and a continuation of the bullish trend. Unfortunately, as of now, you know, that is not looking like what's going to happen, because we did not hold here on this candle. We needed to see just a couple more candles hold and us start to curve back up. But instead, we tried to hold here and we broke below, and then we went too far below and everyone started to panic and they're like, okay, it's not a double bottom. This is now looking bearish. So this pattern is now pretty much 100% failed. I'm only saying pretty much because the day is not over yet. And as you can see, this candle has closed or has not closed yet. It is still active. You can still see the price activity. So this does still have a chance by sometime within the next 12 hours. If we can get bought back up and this candle end up closing above 45,500 again and get us back into this more positive area, this will end up being just a rejection wick, which won't throw off the double bottom pattern. So then if we can recover before this candle closes, get back up here, and the next candles open and close up here and us start curling back up, it can still happen. But the fact that we just dumped so far down, and we're not right now, I mean, we're at 43.5 and we just touched 42.4 is not a good sign. So at this point, and I just wanted to show you the potential that we could still recover, because there's always fake outs. Whales love to do random stuff at the same time to throw retail traders off. So it's always good to consider both scenarios. I will say though, at this point, the double bottom recovery scenario, pretty much broken, extremely unlikely. The way we're looking right now, it looks like this candle is probably going to close under this white line. People are going to say, all right, we're probably going down. And we're going to see a lot more trading activity under 45,000 down to as far as maybe even 35. So I would just be very careful with going long here, and make sure that you are, if you want to go long because you see something at a good dip, just make sure that you buy it in small quantities. I would not YOLO 100% all in at really any of these prices trying to time the bottom. I would just slowly average in. And that way, if you want to expose yourself while we're in a downtrend here before we bounce, because you think we're near the bottom, at least don't expose yourself to that much risk, because we could go much further. There's no way to know. And leave yourself some more money so that you can actually buy the deeper dip, right, at an even better price. Now, the last two things I'm going to show you here from a technical perspective before we get back to the comments are the next areas of support on the way down that we really need to be mindful of. And I'm going to delete this box because now it's in the way. And as you can see, if I also get rid of the EMA indicators and we just look at the price action, you could see some prices, some areas where there's a lot of support and resistance. So the first one is going to be right here, right where this wick is, right where we just stopped just now, right where this bottom is right here, and the top's here, and the top here. And that's going to be right at about this 43, like $42,000 level right here. I'm trying to put that as close to the middle as I can of all those prices. You could see right here a common trend, a common area of support and resistance right here. Super strong, 42,000. That's the first area. If we break below that, then we get back into this zone again, which we hate to be in, because this is what we spent these 3 months right here waiting to break back out, right? We'd hate to be back under here, but it could happen. And then we could really fall anywhere in this zone, which is going to be that 29-ish to $30,000 range up to 42. This is where we were stuck from May all the way to like August here. And we could really fall anywhere in here and bounce around, and who knows what happens next. I'm sure there will be new news and new technical patterns to consider at that time. And then anything under that is bad news, and things are going to get really, really, really ugly for crypto. So let's just hope that doesn't happen. But this is the next zone down. So let's just hope we don't break below 42,000. If we do, maybe there's a small chance here that we can fake the complete market crash and catch right here at this little inner level of support, right at about 40,000. If you can see, resistance, and some support here. We could fake and bounce off that and then come back up. But if not, it does look bad. And we could see some continued selling off. And another reason why I think the sell-off is becoming more imminent is because, as you can see, we've got a bit of a head and shoulders forming right here due to just the way that the price action has been forming. So on the daily time frame, you can see we did move up, but then we got shoulder, pullback to 42K, head at 69,000, pullback to 42K, and now another shoulder right at about the same peak, and now a pullback right to 42K. And so now we have this, what looks like a very clear as day head and shoulders to a lot of people. Could freak people out and make them even more bearish, which will cause them to sell. And in these cases, sometimes you see, you know, we hit the neckline here, and we do one last little bounce that fakes some people out, and then we usually see the dump. And it could be to here, or it could be below. So that's kind of the technical breakdown. But like I said, I'm definitely leaning towards the bearish side now due to all the things that are happening from a technical perspective. It's more reinforced by everything that's happening from a fundamental perspective with all the bad news. And then if you just also look, you know, at the EMAs and how extended even this one got here, and how it looks like it wants to do that another death cross here, it looks very likely. It looks like that would be the next expected move, especially when you just zoom back out and you look at how extended we really are in the big picture. Like we are probably due for a pullback to 35, or even a pullback to the 200 EMA, which by that point will probably be like anywhere from 26 to 30K before we continue up. Or maybe we do a pullback under that, and then we move back up again, and then we break towards 100K or whatnot. All right, little bearish short term. Obviously, I think crypto, great project, or else I wouldn't be streaming about it all the time. But just please take that to heart. Price movement in between is normal and natural. All right, so any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I will flip this to Dogecoin really quick, because I know a lot of you here don't actually hold Bitcoin. You hold Dogecoin. So, and what we can see here, guys, is, man, we hit 14 cents not very long ago. Dogecoin with a really nice bounce back, though, up to 16 cents already. So that's good to see. So let's take a look. Some of you were dropping some coin recommendations here in the chat below. So let's see. We've got Algo, Spell. Dan VR says Spell has been profitable over the last month. Mana, aka Decentraland. Okay, I've been hearing a lot about that one. Let's take a look. The Pimped Out Platypus says Evergrow coin. It's hyperdeflationary. BUSD rewards, regular AMAs. They have a good roadmap, metaverse compatible. Doc's team with really good, successful financial experts, CFA for CEO. That sounds like a pretty good setup there. I'll have to check that out. Hey, what's going on, Rick? Look at Rick with the 2020 logo. That means he's been a member for a while. Thank you for your support. Mr. Zeno says, Daddy-daughter day at the park with chalk. It's always crypto time. Nice. XRP. XRP is a good one. Pantry says, Dogecoin never to $1. 2 to 5 years, $1, not happening. We'll see. We'll see. The whole market right now is looking like a bit of a bust, but I do believe that we will recover. But as far as time frame is, I'm pretty much done giving out the time frames. There's too much bad news and things in the market that are beyond our control and beyond prediction that keep happening. So until the pandemic is over, for one, and until China gets everything situated and regulation really gets put in place, it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. And our best thing that we can do is just take a guess at which one is going to be short term. But there's no way to see out till next year, 2 years from now, whether you're looking at fundamentals alone and not technicals, or technicals alone and not fundamentals, because there's just always unpredictable events that occur that mess with the price. So, DeFi Kingdom. Nice. How do I know? Oh, you're talking to Pantry? Okay, guys, pretty good. I do want to go ahead and check out Evergrow coin, because and I also want to talk about NFTs a little bit. There was actually a really good video on YouTube that I saw not long ago, just a couple days ago, that kind of mirrored how I feel about NFTs. But it also kind of made me want to get into them a little bit. But basically, and I'll share the link with you guys as well. Basically, it was a guy that was really smart and really well versed on NFTs, and he's actually the one, he pulled off some kind of NFT heist to where he owns like every single NFT on Ethereum. Like he has each NFT somehow. And basically what he was just saying is that a lot of NFTs are just a ripoff, right? And my concern with NFTs has been that it's a bit of a fad that's going to pass, because right now it's just new and it's hype. But then people are going to be, eventually people are going to say, well, what really brings value to a particular NFT? Like, why does this make it valuable compared to anything else? Where when NFTs first started off, everybody was just like, oh, this picture looks cool, buy it. Or, oh, it's an NFT, buy it. Or, oh, it's on Ethereum, buy it. There's just like art, there's usually some kind of standards that people hold things to before they assign value to it. Whether it's a certain maker of NFTs or art, right? And then everything by Van Gogh, for example, is probably going to be valuable, or something, versus it just being an NFT on Ethereum's network, so it's going to moon, right? So, but he gave some pretty good things to look into for what will probably really, what NFTs will actually stand the test of time and continue up in value beyond the hype phase. So, Toby says, I'm bullish on Matic because they have a good project. They make transactions a lot cheaper. Went all the way to almost $3. Now it's at $2.25, even with both crashes. If it goes below $2, I'm buying more. Awesome. Yeah, this is the season for layer 2 solutions for sure. And this is something I've been saying in the last couple streams. Any layer 2 solutions that run on top of Ethereum's network that help you bypass the gas fees is probably going to be a very, very good investment short term. So I'm talking anywhere from now up to, just depending on when ETH2 comes out, it could be Q2 or Q4 of 2022, or even longer if they delay it. But basically anything that runs on top of Ethereum network that helps reduce gas fees, that is a legitimate project that you see could be useful, is probably going to be a very good investment before ETH2 gets dropped. I am a little skeptical of those because I think once ETH2 gets dropped and all the native layer 2 solutions get integrated with the roll-ups and all the other technology that they have integrated, a lot of the layer 2 solutions are going to become irrelevant, because it's like, why would you use the third-party platform if you could just use the first-party platform? So that's why I'm short-term bullish on those, and then long-term a little bearish, but I think it's probably a really good play up until then. And then also just any competing networks that are not Ethereum, so something like Cardano, Solana, etc., that, it's a blockchain, has smart contract capabilities, can host NFTs and do all that good stuff, and also high transactions per second, and also be very fast and cheap. I think those competitors also are going to have their limelight now up till ETH2. As we can see here, nice recovery from Dogecoin here. I would avoid FOMOing in at this point. Now Doge is back to 16, and 16 is my sweet buy spot, but please keep in mind that this move can get rejected at any point. I would probably wait till we're at least above 16.2. If we can clear this resistance level here, this very clear resistance level at 16.2, maybe then I'd consider a buy in the low 16s, because then there's no resistance up till about 16.5. So at least I'd have a little bit of a buffer. If we can find support here, this is the next resistance versus buying here, and resistance being here and here. Harmony is all this? Awesome. Harmony, yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Harmony too. A lot of good altcoins there. And thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for hitting that like button and subscribing. I appreciate that, and it's great to see you all. Let's take a look at Evergrow coin really quick. And just before I really kind of move on to the next segment, the last thing, guys, is just what's kind of going on in the market that really is causing this crash. Because I think I showed you the technicals of where we could land, but it's more important to know why we could probably even go in that direction to begin with. And that has nothing really to do with technicals as much as it does fundamentals assisted by the technical analysis. So, number one is really going to be Evergrande at this point. So unfortunately, Evergrande's not doing very good. According to recent reports, they were undergoing this massive building project in China where they were developing like 40 properties or something like that, and they were already under construction. Apparently, the way that they obtained the building permits for those areas was not legitimate. It was illegal, and so they were ordered by the government to, within the next 7 days, destroy all of the buildings that they already started constructing, and that they must be fully removed because they were not authorized to build on that land for like 40 different properties, commercial properties. As you can imagine, for a company that's already going under and that's already having struggles paying debt back to investors, they don't really have money to spare, right? And that's just a bad look. Illegal activity, so going bankrupt, illegal activity, and then being forced to destroy buildings that when you're already not profitable. So that caused a big stir, and people really panicked. On top of that, to make matters worse, we already know that Evergrande was warning investors to be careful investing in their company because there is a chance that they won't make their money back. So direct from company warning not to invest, that's pretty scary. And then this was just the icing on the cake. And then the cherry on top was the fact that they then said, or there was then news that Evergrande stocks got removed from from the exchange, like the exchange over in China where they trade stocks, got removed from that exchange. You can no longer trade Evergrande stocks on the stock market in China. So that's not good. So that means now anybody that was holding stocks, and I think it was like sell only or something like that. So anybody that's holding their shares is probably in panic mode and wanting out, or smart people are going short and just saying, I'm going to make money off this crash here. And yeah, not good for the company. That's even less money in their pockets. That's even more of a problem. That's even worse for the investors. Bad news. And being that they're such a massive real estate company, like absolutely insanely massive, that really, I mean, all those investors not making their money back could really cause a snowball effect and cause other investors to go bankrupt, and then they have to pull their leveraged multi-million-dollar positions in Bitcoin, or not leveraged even, and they have to sell, right? And then all that selling pressure for millions and millions and millions of dollars, causing an actual crash to happen. Then retail investors freak out because they see the price crashing and they sell, and then everybody's selling. So not good. And so that's one main reason for this. Another reason is because of the continuation of the pandemic here. There's actually some areas that are going back under lockdown. And how crazy is that? Especially if you're in the US, we've gotten pretty far from the idea of lockdown. That was 2021, right? And not a thought for 2022, 2020 and 2021. But here we are in 2022, and because of the increase in cases and because of the new Omicron variant, everybody's starting to get the virus now, and there are some locations starting to go back under. I know at my place of employment, there's like half of my employees have it right now, and also close family friends and family members. A lot of them have it as well. It is now spreading, in my opinion, worse than it ever was, just from reports that I'm getting. And we do know, and there's some positive side to this, I guess you could say, is that at least what's being reported is that the Omicron variant isn't as dangerous. So yes, it's spreading like wildfire, but it's more like less likely that you're going to end up in the hospital or having severe long-term effects. So it's kind of like catching anything else at this point. So maybe it'll just run its course. People build up natural immunity, and then everybody starts to forget about it. Just like, we don't really go into panic mode and lockdown over the flu or anything else. But short term, I think this is still bad news, and people are going to panic versus react positively, of course. And who knows what continued reactions that states, governments around the globe, countries, who knows what extreme measures they'll take if they don't have that same take and they think it's going to be and they think it's more of a concern. We could see more lockdowns and stuff. So people are concerned about that, potential for more job loss. And, you know, it's just not a good thing. We saw what happened last time. The pandemic caused a bad situation. Bitcoin was at like $3,000. Okay, so we don't want to see that happen again. So that's another thing. And I'm also seeing some people in the comments now mentioning that the digital yuan went live. So did that happen? Okay, yesterday. And what's going on, Yehoiakim? He's saying that the digital yuan went live, and that's part of what caused it as well. That could definitely be another negative catalyst. Governments getting into their own kind of currency while they're banning decentralized crypto. So there's that, and there's other factors too, guys. But those are really the main two things. And tether concerns is another that's really making people freak out. Because like I said, apparently Tether, and this is a rumor, don't quote me on this and hold me to it, but apparently Tether is printing a whole lot of money, and that's not properly backed, so they're really just making money out of thin air and then helping hold the price up of Bitcoin by dumping it into that. The Artful Doger says, what's my take on Tesla share price? There's a good question. Let's take a look. So Tesla had a really big bull run, and apparently it sold off pretty hard today. Wow, it went from 1,170 all the way down to about 1,150. Tesla's looking a lot like Bitcoin right now, to be honest. Can you guys see the comparison? Let's side by side these really fast. The first thing I saw was Tesla looking like Bitcoin when I opened the chart. We go to the daily time frame on both. You see the uncanny resemblance. And if I get rid of the EMAs here and the lines, and you just kind of look at it like that, these guys look pretty much the same. Interesting. But yeah, anyway, regarding Tesla's share price, I feel pretty good about it. The thing about Tesla is everyone always wants to be short on Tesla and bearish on Tesla. There's a lot of high profile people that are just like, oh, Tesla's not going to make it. Tesla's going to fail. Oh, the price is overextended. It's going to sell off. Oh, Tesla's going to be back to $250 for a pullback soon. The thing about Tesla is every time it's probably due for a pullback. Every time Tesla's share price gets overextended, Tesla breaks another record, or they make another revolutionary project. They make another revolutionary announcement that gets people excited. And the hype just continues and goes on and on and on and on. So unlike something that's set in stone like Bitcoin, where its main catalyst is adoption and people taking it serious, with Bitcoin, I mean, it just is what it is, and everyone knows what it is for the rest of time. It's set in stone. It's programmed. Tesla is a company that can keep innovating and making new projects and changing and developing and becoming larger and better over time. So it is not necessarily held to the same rule of trading thumb as a cryptocurrency is, like Bitcoin. And so we don't necessarily have to see a major crash pullback all the way down to 200 or down to 400 or down to 600 at any really given point. I think as long as Tesla continues breaking barriers and breaking into new technologies and making things like the Tesla Model S Plaid, which is now one of the fastest production cars that you can buy, right? And it's only like 120 grand for what it is. Expensive car, obviously, but for what it is. And then we've got the Tesla truck coming down the line. Who knows how that will be received? And then we've got the Tesla Roadster, which is supposed to be the actual fastest production car in the world once that drops. And revolutionary electric technology and a whole lot of stuff. Right now we have the Tesla bots as well, Tesla AI and the robots that they're making and all kinds of new stuff. Each time Tesla breaks into new territory with one of these releases and it's groundbreaking, their valuation just goes up a little more, up. So I do think Tesla's overextended, but and there could be pullbacks to 1,000. There could be a pullback to the 100 EMA here. Could be even pullbacks on like really bad market conditions. If we see a market crash of some sort, or just really bad red days, we could see a pullback to 900 or 850. But I don't really think Tesla's going under the 200 EMA line, at least anytime soon. As long as they keep up this momentum, I think they've got a lot more room to go. Some people might argue that we could be seeing a potential double top here, but I would say probably not, unless they just suddenly run out of steam with their products here. I'd say probably not, but we'll see. Tesla and Tesla's the apparently the best performing stock in the S&P 500 pretty consistently. So, I mean, I think people are super bullish on Tesla. And even if Tesla pulls back at some point, I mean, we've got Elon Musk, who is just consistently proving himself to be a forward thinker. He's always thinking about, you know, not what's going to happen in the next couple months, but next couple years, next couple decades, so on and so forth. And so that's, in my opinion, if you're looking to buy into something long term, that's a little risky, right? Because it's not an ETF or anything like that, but is an individual stock, and you want some potential for long-term growth. I think Tesla's probably a good bet, because you've got someone that's always trying to get into the next thing. And that's really all Elon's ever thinking about. Like, how can we get to Mars? How can we change the world? Other than that, though, the concern I do have, because this is not just a full one-sided I love Elon Musk and Tesla thing. I do have some concern, though, that over the next year or 2 years, there will be a period of time where electric vehicles from other manufacturers and even products from other manufacturers start to catch up, and Tesla loses a little bit of its advantage, and that we start to see, if not the price start to trend towards the downside for a bit, the movement to the upside start to slow down, because then people will be interested in other projects. So I think truly that Tesla at any time really can start to stall out. As soon as we start hearing about, like, Polestar and Rivian and some of these other companies that are getting into electric vehicles, and then as other companies get into electric supercars, which is happening a lot too, and then AI and robotics, as they start to catch up to Tesla, and that gap is closed a bit, I think Tesla will lose a little bit of steam, and maybe we could then start seeing a downtrend. But right now, I mean, they're still so far ahead that, especially with the charging network and everything, there's a bit of a ways to go. So that's my opinion on Tesla. SpaceX, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, SpaceX, there isn't that much competition for SpaceX. I mean, now we have Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' venture into trying to be a SpaceX competitor. But I mean, you think about people. Actually, SpaceX isn't even publicly tradable. So I love SpaceX personally, but it's not even a stock. So you couldn't invest in it if you wanted to. It's a private thing. But if it does ever go public, I think that'll be a big deal. All right, I missed a couple comments here. Professor Kovidov said, unvaxxed since day zero, sick once versus my vax colleagues who have been sick 4 to 5 times since pandemic started. What to say? Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I think it's everyone's choice at the end of the day whether or not they want to get something injected in their body or not. I personally, didn't have a problem with it. I waited a good couple months, though, to make sure, post J&J blood clot moment, that at least I wasn't the lab rat for the first couple thousand injections. But, it is what it is. And I think there's going to be a lot of mixed news probably over the next couple months on what to do, and a lot of varying opinions continuing as people are saying, oh, don't get it. Oh, get it. Oh, don't get a booster. Oh, get a booster. Who knows, right? But I'm indifferent. Everyone's going to do what they want to do at the end of the day, and nobody can change that. So unless you're a different country like China that forces people to do stuff or something like that, in the US, it's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. So I just don't think about it. Jehoiakim says, purchase power, capitalization. What did the Fed report say? Yeah, could someone share that? I will look for it myself as well. But could someone share kind of what the Fed report said. Toby says, I did see many people posting a screenshot of Tether printing money out of thin air. Of course, it was all numbers, so I didn't understand. Yeah, that's what I saw too. Lots of screenshots. I like that bullishness, Yehoiakim. Do we get out of this downtrend on crypto, or is this the end? If we go under 41,000, we probably don't break out anytime soon. I think our only hope, I think what's going to happen at this point, there's a very high chance that, you know, if we don't recover with this daily candle within the next day or two, if we don't see like a big reversal here, because this is a level of support, so we do have to consider that where we just dropped to, we did bounce off support. So we could see a bounce, even though it's a weak level, because we should have held up here. It is still a level. It's got plenty of backing. We could see red candle, green candle, continuation to the upside. There could be a fake out here, but and I would be open-minded to that happening and not do anything ridiculous here, like going all in to the upside because you think it's going to reverse, or going short here or selling everything because you think it's going to dump. I would play it very slow so that you don't mess up your account. But there's still a chance for a reversal here. I think it's more likely, though, that we see a continuation to the downside, and then a stall out happening somewhere around a last resort bounce back to the upside would be somewhere around 40,000 right here. At this level, we could see the price break below here. Everyone freaks out, but then it starts to hold at like this 39, 40,000 level where there's actually some hidden support that other people see, and then a lot of dip buys bring us back into this area, and then a continuation to the upside. That could happen. If we don't hold here, though, at 40, I think it's pretty much doom and gloom at that point. I don't really think that there will be a reversal. I mean, you could see that there's some support here. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think really once we break below 42, it's pretty much over. If we break below 40, it's definitely over. And then we're going to see some dark days, some buy the dip days ahead of us. But things just, if you're trying to be bullish, I'll just say things don't look good to be in the bull's favor for maybe the next couple weeks. I feel like the people who say Tesla will do bad just don't like Elon. That's usually what it is. There's a lot of Elon haters out there, and they're all Tesla bears, right? Because they directly associate Tesla with Elon Musk, and they don't like Elon Musk, so they don't like his company. What's going on, Doge Scotland? And what's going on, Mandy? Tesla's about to have more power than Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah, maybe. Tesla next gen tech and energy. That's another thing. Energy, yes. And even outside of vehicles, we're talking about Tesla solar and all of that good stuff for homes and everything. There was a pretty recent discussion with Elon Musk where he said there could be like enough solar power to power, what did he say, like some states or some small countries if you just had solar. So if you think about like a power plant, there's usually the plant, and then there's an area outside of the plant where there's usually no home development because, of course, people don't typically want to live right on the border of a power plant. If you were to fill that currently empty border around, like just picture a square border around the power plants, if you were to fill that area with solar grids, it would be enough to like power everything on its own. So it doesn't actually take much space. It's just a change of and money spent for development. Solving the money problem. Cool, I'll check that out. Plan B's gone silent. Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, oh yeah, that reminds me. So let's go to Plan B's Twitter, because he made a pretty interesting statement here. He actually said that he fully ditched his floor model, which is what everybody was. I feel like Mariano greater than Elon. Whoa. Well, thank you, but I wish. So Plan B, let's take a look at his Twitter here. He made a statement that he pretty much, the Plan B, the floor model was invalidated and he's ditched it. So let's go ahead and find that. Wait a minute. Did he delete his tweets? Oh no, this is the new year. Oh, sorry, that threw me off. I'm like, why can I only see January? Oh, it is January. Yes, Mariano just needs his money. Guys, if we can work that out, I will split it with all of you. Thank you for the kind comments. January 2nd here. This is what he said. In case you missed it, floor model, and I'll zoom in a bit for anybody that's having some difficulty reading so you can follow along here. In case you missed it, floor model failed. I will not use it again. So the floor model here was what he was saying, that November 98,000, December 135,000, those price targets per month, that was the floor model that he was using. He's saying he is not going to use that again. It failed. It's broken. Now, he makes a valid point that the floor model was on a pretty good streak. It had like a 9 or 10 year accuracy streak where it wasn't off at any given point. So it was surprising that it broke. But I mean, the fact that it failed, I mean, it kind of invalidated it. We're off track. So at that point, you can't follow that indicator anymore, or that method of analyzing, because now we've deviated from it clearly. So the next predictions are also not going to be accurate for the most part. But then he said sales to flow model is at the same critical point as when he wrote this sales to flow article in March 2019. In his opinion, sales to flow still very useful. In fact, it's the most useful in critical situations. Here's the problem with the sales to flow model, and this is my personal opinions, guys. All right, my dog is not very happy. Please hold as I make my dog slightly happier so she doesn't howl. That's a husky, by the way. All right, I'm back. I don't know if I made her happier by locking her outside of my door, but we did handle the situation, so there's that. Anyway, this is the stock to flow price model. All right, if we take a look at this, this is my problem with the sales to flow model or stock to flow model, and I showed this before on stream. I do think it's probably accurate. What I don't like though is all of the room for variation here. It gives you a very, 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 even though I guess it is fundamentally backed, so that's good. It gives you a very wide range of price to consider being the range over the next, what is this, 2022, 23, 24, 25, really somewhere mid 2024 is when it's predicting that the price by then would start shifting to the upside and then reach its next level by 2026, right? So, yeah, you're right, Preezy. I gotta go to the bathroom crowd. You're right. So, basically what this model is saying is that we could be anywhere from, and if you just look at the bands here, anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 and ranging in between that area for the next 2 to 3 years before we start to move up to the next area, which is going to be something like 200,000 or 150,000 up to like $1 million plus. It's such a wide range of price movement that you probably don't need to look at this here to say that that's probably going to happen. And then my other problem with it too is, since it's such a wide range, if we go, because this is the main bands here, the standard deviation bands, and then this was like another deviation. I forgot what he called it exactly. If we happen to just dip below the bottom levels here, does this S2F model get invalidated then too? Or do we just say, oh, well, it was still really close, we could probably just loop back in? You know, because let's just say right now, for example, we're at 42,000, right? We just hit 42K. That was actually below the S2F band. We're sitting below this level right here. But because we're still so close to the band, we're saying that this model is still in play. And if we were to break up to, let's just say we went to the bullish side and we broke the top side and went 300,000 and then did a pullback. this is still in play because we came back to it. I just don't like the fact that this doesn't tell me anything other than we can either be really low or really high, but just probably not much over 200K until 2026. Like I could have guessed that without looking at this chart. That's my personal problem or thing that I dislike about this chart. It's a very generic, basic prediction. But at the same time, I know that this is data backed and tons of calculations, but so that's good. It's a very technical guess. That's just my problem. I like to be a little more focused than that. What's going to happen over the next couple days? What's probably going to happen over the next couple weeks and over the next couple months? What general price area will be heading to, right? But it's good to know that by 2026 we'll probably be somewhere near $1 million Bitcoin. That's pretty dope. So long-term hodler, buy those dips up. But I'm a little shorter term than that. But yeah, Plan B, he has been a little quieter, but I definitely respect what he's doing. He's got a massive following, and he's taking a lot of heat right now for the floor model being wrong, so I'm not going to add to that. Like I said, respect what he's doing. Probably knows more than I do. I just don't particularly like that model. As you can see here on the daily chart, we can see that rejection wick, still holding up here. If we can find enough bullish momentum to clear this 45K level and head back towards 46, I mean, this could be a fake out. I'm not writing it off, but it's not looking like it. That's what I'm saying. Doge 1 coming soon. Yeah, that's good news. A lot of people on Doge. Yes, sir. Oh, I missed a couple comments. Baby Menace said, I don't believe in Doge. Hey, I understand. Here's the thing, guys. I want to talk about Dogecoin for a second. Because at this point, a lot of people are probably thinking, why invest in Dogecoin if I can invest in something else? Dogecoin is dead. At this moment, compared to all of the other cryptocurrencies that are moving right now. Okay, so if we go to crypto.com, coinmarketcap.com. If we go here and we look at the top 15, and we can see that Dogecoin's at 12. If we just look at the top 15, none of these guys here over the last 7 days have significant movement to the upside. In fact, they are all red. Bitcoin's down 6, Binance Coin's down 7, Solana's down 9, Dogecoin is actually doing the best, down 5, and SHIB is down almost 10, so it's doing the worst. All right. None of these projects right now are looking very alive. In fact, most of these people would probably say, oh, they're all dying. If we start to go towards the bottom of the list, you will start to see Secret. I don't even know what Secret is. I just scrolled to the bottom towards the 100th ranking. Up 24% in the last 7 days. Valus up 25%. This one up 30% on Ravencoin, so on and so forth. The further you go down into the risky coins, the ones that are lower market cap, less established and all of that, the less they are following Bitcoin, for one, and the more they are moving on their own because they actually have a whole lot of catalysts and potentially positive news right now that is causing them to break free from market movement. So things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, SHIB, and Dogecoin, who have already experienced a large handful of their positive catalysts already, and they are high market cap, which means that they're also going to be slower movers because it's going to be harder to manipulate the price. You need more money to do it. You need more people freaking out or going crazy in one direction to make the price move. For that reason, these guys are going to be relatively stable. So you can say that these guys, compared to the other volatile coins, are basically dead. And at this moment, I wouldn't argue with that. But overall, saying, Dogecoin is dead, specifically, or saying Ethereum is dead, or saying Bitcoin is dead, or saying Cardano is dead, or saying AVAX is dead, or Polkadot's dead, that I think is a bit ridiculous when you single one out, because the whole market is doing the same thing. If it doesn't have a positive catalyst, and if it has some high value to where it's not going to get easily pumped, it is following the general market movement, which is to the downside. Only the volatile altcoins that people can easily pump because they have less market cap, there's less money needed to do it, and that have a whole lot of constant development and new announcements going on right now are the ones that are really pumping and in the green. So that's my take. Me personally, though, that being said, Dogecoin's holding up just fine compared to the others, but it is not exciting at this moment. If you were looking for some excitement, and this is not directed to Baby Menace, by the way, this is just a general statement. If you're looking for some excitement or to make shorter term money off of crypto, by all means, do not invest in the top 15 cryptos. I would recommend going towards the bottom of this list, maybe from 50 to 100 or even beyond, and doing research on some of these projects that are gaining traction. See what they're all about. Why are people so interested in them? What potential do they hold? And diversify your portfolio into some of these guys where you have a chance of making some money during this bearish market that we're experiencing over this last month or two. Diversify into some positive projects. Flux, apparently in the last 7 days, is up 46%. If we had done some research on Flux, seen that coming and bought in, while everything else is down 10%, you could have been up 50% on your investment. I am not against doing that whatsoever. I just know personally, with my schedule, that I generally don't have enough time during the day to research the alts enough, especially all the alts that exist, enough to find one that I'm confident in and then diversify my portfolio to that extent, confident that I'm also not going to make the wrong decision and lose money. Because usually, I'm off work 5, 6, 7 o'clock. I come here to stream, and then I've got life to also take care of at the same time. So schedule's a bit tight. So I just know for me personally, it doesn't make sense for me to do that, and I probably mess up because I wouldn't be able to do enough research in time. But for you guys, if you have any extra time, by all means, diversify into some of those, and do your research and find a good project. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is just some other projects too, get some ideas from you guys that already have done the research, because a lot of you guys spend a little more time on that, and then share some of my ideas as well. But most of mine my ideas are typically in like the top 20, top 30, because those are the ones I'm already very familiar with. And me personally, the reason why I still am primarily in Dogecoin is simply because I believe in the project and I really like the project. That's pretty much it. If I did not like the project, I would probably have diversified a lot into another project, which is what a lot of people have done, and that's perfectly fine. But I do think that though the most important projects here are trading red right now, that as the market picks back up and as development for each of these coins picks back up, that these guys are going to flip green hard. I'm talking about Cardano, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, Solana. I don't know about SHIB, but if anyone wants to be bullish there, I respect it. Those kind of projects, I think Cardano, as they really developed the NFT and smart contract marketplace, and that blows up, I think Cardano is going to take over and go right back up here to third place and start trying to take over Ethereum. I think Ethereum, as we get closer to ETH2, is going to triple in price. I think Dogecoin, as development continues and people start to respect it again, because people did get bored, I think Dogecoin will take off and could 3, 4, 5 or beyond X, anywhere up to $1 or beyond eventually. So that's why I don't mind playing this one slow. But short term, it might not happen short term, and that's fine. I don't mind waiting. I think once Dogecoin gets accepted anywhere, it'll cost between 50 cents and $2. If we want it as a currency, then that's the price it should stay. I 1000% agree with you, Toby. And I agree with that valuation too. I think Dogecoin on the low end, the reason I've always said Doge under 25 cents is any time under there's a buy, is because I think if Dogecoin succeeds, or even if it really doesn't catch on much more, the price will always fluctuate in between like 10 to 25 cents. And so I don't mind buying towards the high side there and maybe losing 50% of my total investment at worst, if everything just goes downhill and every prediction and everything just goes wrong. I don't mind that being the worst case scenario. But I do think, as long as we still have Elon Musk on board and we can see what he's doing with Tesla and the other companies that he believes in. Tesla, it was PayPal at first, Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, and all these other companies that he currently runs, and how he takes something and really makes good of it and doesn't like failure. I do think that relatively short term, we're going to see Dogecoin pick up some steam, especially because we have one of his advisors on the board of kind of what to do next with the coin. The devs are continuously working on this coin to make it better for what it's supposed to be. We already got the transaction fee update. Next is probably going to be transaction speeds, increasing block size, just more stuff to make it better for being a coin of currency. And then all we need after that, an easy way to spend it, an easy way to receive it, and large scale adoption as everybody respects it for being the crypto of currency. The currency of crypto, rather. And once that happens, I think, just with the demand at that point, the price will go to the moon. And we've done the math multiple times on stream. There's not enough Doge to really go around if people take it seriously. So I think the price could easily go $1 to $2 if all things go according to plan. But that is not necessarily a short-term price prediction. That could be next year, could be 2 years from now that we hit the max price. But I think Doge will go 30, 45 cents, 50 cents sometime this year for sure. So that's good enough money for me. And something else, guys. Robinhood wallets, the beta. So this has been one of my main catalysts for Dogecoin. We have the coin, right? We have Dogecoin. Let me just pull the chart up so I'm not showing you a blank Twitter screen. We have Dogecoin. We have the devs working on it actively. We have a pretty decent community. Could be better, but we've got something. And we have the coin at a low price. We've seen Elon Musk already. Tesla is accepting Dogecoin as of now. I think they made it live on their website, but at least Elon Musk, he already made the announcement that Doge for Tesla is live, but just for merch right now. Down the line, we're going to get another announcement if things go well, that it's not just merch, that it's everything. So then you're going to be able to buy actual vehicles with the money as well, with Dogecoin. That's going to cause the snowball effect that will create exposure for Dogecoin. Other companies will start doing the same, see it as a marketing play, and then we have another run. That's pretty much inevitable. So that's major catalyst number one. Major catalyst number two, and well, on one, even if we don't see a massive spike like we hoped this time last year when everything was more volatile, even if Elon says, all right, you can now buy Teslas with Dogecoin and the price doesn't do much, that is not the main catalyst. The only catalyst that was for a temporary moving price up as people get excited and are like, okay, now's the time. They buy it up hoping to make money, and then they sell at the top hoping to take profit. That's all that is. Then the real move we're waiting for is okay, what they just did, what that's going to signify for the coin, and the signals that's going to throw out to the rest of the market. Other brands, Walmart and Target and all of that, supermarkets and whatnot, saying, okay, to get people in that are excited about Dogecoin to spend some money here, we need to figure out we need to accept it like Tesla is. That's when demand increases and the price goes up, because now customers want to buy Dogecoin so that they can spend it in store and get a taste of that new technology. And then on top of that, you'll probably have retailers incentivizing people to spend Dogecoin at their store. So basically saying, hey, all you Dogecoin people, all you people that hold it and want to spend it somewhere, come to this store and we'll give you 5% off your purchase if you come here and spend it. So then they're incentivizing you to come and spend your money there. And, then that will make the adoption snowball even more, as even people that aren't fans of the coin are going to say, oh, well, if I want to save some money, free coupons to go ahead, do a quick conversion of my USD to Doge, and then pay in Dogecoin. And that's really all it takes for Doge to catch on. So it could very easily happen. I don't want to miss out on that. Whether it happens or not, I'd rather give it a try and maybe it not go perfectly and I just make a couple bucks or something, than not give it a try and then it be like how we sit here and Bitcoin's at $40,000, $50,000 and we saw it at $3 and we didn't buy it. I don't want to be that person. So I'll jump on board. And we'll see how that goes. In addition to that, so that's Catalyst 1. Catalyst 2 is one of my biggest catalysts for Dogecoin, and it could also be for Bitcoin, Cardano, ETH, and all the others too. But really for the currency that's meant to be sent and spent is Robinhood wallets. We already know the majority of Dogecoin is being held on Robinhood. The problem with that is that means the majority of Dogecoin currently cannot be spent. It cannot be sent to another person. It cannot be spent in a retail setting. You have to sell it first, get your money back, to then spend your money. With Robinhood wallets, you basically unlock all of that Dogecoin, all of those people holding Doge on those exchanges. You unlock the ability for them to now spend it. So then you enable them to go to that Walmart or Target that accepts Doge and spend their Doge. Where right now they have to either open an expensive Coinbase account, Crypto.com account, which is robbery too. If you looked at the fees, I made a video on that not long ago. They have to open a new exchange, buy Dogecoin, and then spend it there. And maybe they don't want to do that. So now you unlock 70% of Dogecoin holders to, instead of selling for profit, spend, take advantage of. So you end up reducing selling pressure, which helps the price stay afloat or raise because less people are now selling, more people are now buying, or the same amount of people are buying. And, price just continues to go up and up and up and up. So that's my biggest catalyst. And that's forward thinking, but I like to do that kind of thing. Now, the cool thing is we already know that this is about to happen very soon. And we will not necessarily, we could see a bit of a pump, but we won't necessarily see a major pump in Dogecoin's price when that goes live. But I think the short to medium term effects of Robinhood wallets coming online and enabling people to do something with their Doge instead of sell it is what will cause the price to gradually start to increase and go back towards 20, 30, and beyond. All right. And the latest news that we have from Robinhood is that these wallets, the beta, so I'm assuming the people that signed up, maybe the first 500,000 or million people that signed up to be kind of the beta testers are going to have the early access. And that's supposed to be coming within like a week or two. All right. That's supposed to be happening really, really soon. This month. So Dogecoin wallets on Robinhood coming this month. And then the beta will probably be over sometime in February or March. So full rollout then. But I'm already signed up. And let me just double check now and make sure it's not live yet. So let's see. Artful Doger says that that Tesla isn't, that Dogecoin is not live yet on Tesla's website. So looks like it didn't quite make it on yet, but he did make the announcement, so that's good. Wallets. All right, doesn't look like the wallets are up quite yet. Yeah, so I haven't been accepted yet, but in about 2 weeks, that's supposed to be live. So that's going to be huge. Wow, a lot of questions today. Glad to see all these questions, guys. Keep them coming. I do appreciate it. I like the activity. Also, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, enjoying the content, click that subscribe button. We'd love to see you in the next stream. Usually try to go live a couple times a week at least, unless it's a slow week. But anytime anything exciting's happening, I'm going to be covering it. So that's pretty much the guarantee right there. Let's see. Church, yes sir. What's the range for 2022? It's the same. I mean, from now up until 2024, the prediction according to S2F is 50 to 200K, and right now we're under 50. So I mean, we're still not on target for that. So it's really anyone's guess. What I'd recommend, guys, take the charts. Even though I'm a TA person, I know when to switch gears, because TA 75% of the time is not the main factor in price movement. TA is just recognizing where the next up or down stopping point is, but then the actual choice of whether we're going to go up or down is determined by the news, right? So you get news causing a move up or news causing a move down. TA is to find out where that move up or that move down is going to stop at. I hope that makes sense. So as far as predictions go on where Bitcoin's price is going to go this month or this year, I can tell you, well, if we go in the up direction, we're going to end up here. If we go in the down direction, we could end up here or here. but the news, the real world events that are going on that are making people feel like buying or selling is what's going to push us in one of those directions. Right now, it's bearish, but I think what's going to end up happening is we have a bearish month, over these next couple of days or weeks, whatever, a little bit of bearish activity. But then as the year goes on, as long as the government, we hear positive things regarding regulation and we can really get that sorted out so that less people can get rug pulled. And then we end up getting the SEC to feel confident in the Bitcoin ETFs. And then they approve that. And we start to see, just standardization, regulation, and people getting comfortable with cryptocurrency this year. And, Evergrande stays afloat. The virus doesn't take over again and cause a whole lot of problems and cause people to lose their jobs. Like, as long as the economy's stable and crypto is stable, I think we will end this year green for sure. I could see 200,000. I could see even maybe a little beyond that. I think we could break above the S2F's predictions if things really go good. Because, when you just look at Bitcoin for Bitcoin and crypto for crypto, Bitcoin has had so many positive announcements and so many positive catalysts over the last couple months since the first pullback happened, that Bitcoin, if you thought Bitcoin was worth 64,000 in January of last year, what would you think it's now worth that it's legal tender over in El Salvador, and that other countries are wanting to take this on as a legal tender, and that celebrities are getting involved and even buying NFTs and making them their profile photos and such, and buying and investing into Bitcoin, and obviously it's taken over. So surely Bitcoin has potential for the price to be way higher than it is. These prices are being held back due to real world negative events that are making people feel like the markets could short term go down. But once we have that cleared and people don't have that fear, I think then we take the reins off and Bitcoin and all their altcoins and cryptos take off. That's my guess. Short term though, yeah, the high, you're right there, AB. So potential high short term 49s to 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. 49s also the 200 on the daily time frame. So right around that area is probably going to be the first pullback spot. And there is some more resistance. 47, like you said, about 47.9 is right here. It's probably going to be your first stopping point. Well, 45.7, 48-ish right here, and then you've got about 49.50. If we break above that, we're probably going to keep going. So that would be my guess. Harmony's highly undervalued. We'll definitely have to check that out. And I'm going to screenshot a lot of the ones you guys just named and look into them off stream. And then we can talk about them next stream. Yehoiakim says 24.5. Toby says, I think once Dogecoin gets accepted everywhere, it will cost between... Oh yeah, I read that one, sorry. GameStop accepted Doge. Yep. Food industry accepts Doge. USD valued at 88 cents currently. That's pretty terrible. That is pretty bad inflation. Yeah, it's not live yet on Tesla's website. Evergrow is one of those small cap early projects started in September. You're saving 40% of your money using Doge versus USD. How about a Tesla Bank? I don't know if I want to take over that much, but I would love to see Elon Musk get into the crypto space. And I know he said that he wouldn't unless he had to, but that's the thing. If Dogecoin doesn't work out, he's probably going to make his own crypto. And I've been saying for like a year, if he makes a crypto, I'd love for it to be called like Project X or the X Coin or something like that. I just think it's a cool letter, cool name. And, SpaceX is already a thing. And somebody even, I think it was, what's his name? Something Lee, Dave Lee, the tech guy. He even recommended to Elon a year ago that they roll all their companies up into one parent company called like X or something like that, just called X, and that like Tesla reported there, SpaceX reported there, the Boring Company reported there, and then to have the X coin too. That would be perfect package in my opinion. Well, that's pretty cheap. ETH XRP, nothing really has happened with Ethereum. Just a lot of NFTs, right? Whoa, almost destroyed my coffee. A lot of NFT activity, but Ethereum's pricing here, it's pretty much where it's been. It's in about 3,500. So nothing to write home about. It didn't really dump. When Bitcoin dumped or Dogecoin pulled back, it kind of held its own. And I do expect Ethereum to be like the strongest here throughout this pullback, even if we crash harder. I think Ethereum will be the strongest because it's really right now, I mean, it is the network, has the most, probably the most use of all of them with the NFTs and everything. So I think Ethereum, even if we see like a market crash from Bitcoin, this could incentivize the flippening to happen, where Ethereum's market cap gets close to or goes above Bitcoin's, because Ethereum's kind of becoming its own thing. XRP, haven't done too much with XRP, but we can take a look at it. They're still figuring out the settlement, but yeah, their price is pretty low at 77 cents here. Pretty low. Fee for using Doge. Fee for using USD. 12% devaluation and 6.8% inflation. Oh, and tax, yeah. If you make 45K a year, your money gross purchasing power is worth 36.5. Gross, let that sink in. State and federal tax not even deducted yet. Oh, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Yeah, that's a massive percentage to take away. Massive, massive. All right, guys, well, let's take a look at Evergrow coin really fast. The next Shiba Inu Evergrow coin broke past 125k token holders and market cap of 750 million. Wow. Now, my thing I always say with these coins, what is its purpose? That's always, and for anybody that's looking into altcoins that wants to try and figure out how can I figure out like what's not just going to potentially pump, but what can I really get behind? Because maybe it will pump, but it also has like a purpose. What is the coin's purpose? You will always hear with altcoins buzzwords like deflationary, hyper deflationary, token burn, limited supply, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, unless it does something, it's just another coin that people are trying to convince you should buy and raise the valuation of, right? It's like if I made some custom pieces of paper and I said, all right, well, I have 125 pieces of paper. There will be no more made. There will not be a 126th. I will throw one of these away every year. And I think I'm going to start the bidding at 25 bucks. And you guys can assign value to this and trade it to other people, make them think this paper has value. But here's the thing. Over time, they're going to get more rare because I'm going to throw one away every year. So the price will probably go up. That's pretty much all a cryptocurrency is if it doesn't have a purpose. It needs to do something if it's going to hold long term. Now, we have people that are just bullish on crypto and altcoins and pump coins. And that's why they're so willing to buy these things and assign a value to them, because they are that convinced that if it has the buzzwords and there's a limited supply and a token burn, then it's probably going to go up in value. So always look for, in addition to that, what is the coin's purpose? What is it trying to do? Is it fundamentally good? Is it like a Dogecoin where fundamentally it's very cheap to send around, so it could be a really good way to move money between person to person for goods or services or whatever? Is it a blockchain that's really fast? Is it a layer 2 solution that's going to help reduce fees? Like, what does it do? What is its contribution to like to finance or to the DeFi space? And that was my problem with SHIB before they got Shiba Swap. Was Shiba Inu alone, before it had a decentralized exchange to give it some fundamental value, SHIB was just literally a token. It's on Ethereum network, so with gas fees and everything, it's not super cheap to move around. It wasn't easily accessible, and it also didn't do anything. It had no project, no purpose. So it was literally just a meme token. People said, oh, it's a dog, I'm gonna buy it. But now SHIB has a decentralized exchange. So you can say that project actually has value now, just like Uniswap, because it is providing a service. Now let's continue, and that's just general with altcoins, has nothing to do with Evergrow, but I just thought I'd mention that. So due to its deflationary nature, the token will be more scarce over time. Token burn. Evergrow coin contracts, there's a tax on all buy-sell transactions. 14%. This contract distributes 8% from every transaction to the holders as rewards in BUSD. Okay. Now, I think here's probably the main part. According to the website roadmap, Dogecoin will launch its NFT marketplace in Q1. Okay. Through the marketplace, NFT owners can trade, buy, mint, and sell. Sorry, using NFTs or using images, videos, and other data. Okay. Oh, the NFT ecosystem will be supported by the NFT lending marketplace, which will allow NFT owners to lend and borrow liquidity by keeping their NFTs as collateral. Interesting. A content subscription platform for creators to provide quality content and updates to their fans. Okay, now that's probably where some value can come in, especially if it allows creators to accept tips in the cryptocurrency, you know? So let's see. Subscription platform facilitates the integration of both crypto and fiat payment options. It means users can choose fiat, stablecoins, and EGC tokens to purchase the creator's subscription plan. The platform will allow them to connect with their favorite creators, purchase content, tip them, and acquire daily updates. Now that's I think where the project puts its value, because when you can either pay US dollar for something, or Bitcoin for something, which is a currency that everyone puts faith in and holds value in, or you can pay with this many tokens, then the tokens suddenly get that amount of dollar value. So, and then you consider the burn, you consider the tax and everything. Now Evergrow tokens actually start to have some value. So I think what this means is we need to figure out what creator.com is going to be like, how many creators will actually decide to use the platform, and if it'll gain traction. If it does, then Evergrow token I think could be really good. And it will primarily be used as a tipping token on the platform. And then as a bonus, you can use those tokens to you hold them over time, you get a percentage of the transaction fees, and then you swap them back out for some profit when you convert to USD. Or if you see some nice NFTs that you want, you can exchange your token for NFT. And then, do the NFT buying low, selling high deal. So that sounds like a cool project. I think from what I've read, it really depends on Creator. Creator has to be successful, has to be a good platform. So yeah, cool. Doge will keep dropping upwards. That's an interesting statement. What's up, Amon Davis? Privacy is already a very valuable function at a coin. Yes, privacy too. Yep. I would wait to buy more Doge. If you're gonna buy in Doge, here's the thing. We're at a support level. It really depends on what you want your trading style to be. If you're looking at Dogecoin right now, and here's the thing, Dogecoin already recovered a nice bit. It had a good bounce. We're already back at 16 cents-ish. So Dogecoin's at a pretty cheap price. We don't know where the bottom is. We don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. All we know is there's a lot of negative news, but there's also whales that like to throw curveballs. But overall, bunch of negative news and selling off. This could be the bottom, or it could not. But since this is a potential bottom, it's usually a decent idea to go ahead right near the bottom. And if you don't want to wait and potentially miss out, throw a couple bucks in, get some Doge at that price, and then wait. See what happens next. At least you can drop your average a bit by buying super cheap if it does reverse. But if it does not and it keeps going down, you'll still have most of your eggs still available, and not all in one basket, still available to buy the next dip, buy the next dip, buy the next dip, a little more, a little more, a little more. That's one option. Or if you are pretty convinced that we're going to keep going down, then don't necessarily do anything, just wait. But I have nothing against buying a little bit here. Just know that things are looking bad, so it's 75% chance that we're going to continue down and you'll be able to get a better dip soon, but there is still the 25% chance it's a fake out, and we'll recover, and we could wake up tomorrow and be back at 45 and Doge back to 17. Okay, so that's my best advice. This one's my baby. Nice. I like it. Algorand, that's a good question, Tomislav. And I think Algorand's pretty cool. I did read about it before, and it was really complicated. It's a decentralized network built to solve the blockchain trilemma of achieving speed, security, and decentralization simultaneously. So basically Algorand's competing already right against, the Ethereums and whatnot. The Ethereums, the Cardanos, and other networks. So as long as it's stable, secure, fast, good, supports smart contracts and NFTs, it's a competitor. So right, Q3 2022. Okay, cool. So that means there's still some time to buy. You'll probably see a little bit of a dip since the articles were recently published, it's probably got a lot of exposure, and then you'll probably see it die off as other projects take off a little bit. You'll see your pullback. It's probably the best time to buy it, I would guess, to load up some more as the hype cools off, heading into maybe Q1 into Q2 here. So next month, the month after, and then as we start nearing Q2 and Q3, then it'll probably, that kind of U-shaped movement. It'll probably start going back up and then continue up even higher. So kind of like a J, I guess. That would be my guess. So I might buy a few coins in the dip, the bottom of the J, because it sounds pretty cool, but I really need to get my eyes on Crater and just see, is it something that even I would use? Because if not, then I think the whole thing suddenly becomes a flop, because if Crater sucks, no one wants to use it. No one accepts tips. No one, the coin won't hold its value. But yeah, Algorand seems different. I'll have to look back into that one though, because I want to see exactly how does Algorand hold up to the others. But I'm going to screenshot all your recommendations you dropped in the chat today, guys, and I'm going to look those back up and then come back with some feedback. One thing about NFTs, and I will share the link probably in the next stream of the video I watched where a guy was talking about them, but the thing about NFTs, most of the time when you buy NFTs from a marketplace, you do not actually own the photo. You own you own the rights to a hyperlink that will lead you to said photo. So imagine I'm using Google Photos, and let's just say I use Photoshop. I create a couple images, and I say I want these to be the images for my NFT. This is my artwork. And then I upload them to my Google Photos or my Apple iCloud or Photos account. And then I create a link so that people can click on that link and view the photo and download it if they want. Basically, people are selling the link to view and download the photo as an NFT. And then that transaction history gets stored on the blockchain. So you have the right to the hyperlink to the photo. And if that photo is not copyright protected or anything, I mean, how special really is that access to how special is having that NFT at that point? If I were to say, if it was not decentralized, and I just said, hey guys, this picture that you might be considering as an NFT buy, this photo right here, I made it, and I will sell it to you, and sell you basically the right to click on this link and go download it and hold one of the collection of this photo, even though anyone else can technically screenshot it and whatnot. How much would you pay for that photo? That's probably the way that you should look at NFTs, because at the end of the day, it's just a photograph, and if it was not decentralized and you wouldn't pay $1,000 for it, then consider why you're willing to pay $1,000 for it with it decentralized, when it's the same, when it's just a photo, just getting to it a different way. So there's only two reasons why I would say it would be worth it to pay a substantial amount of money, or maybe three, for an NFT. And that would be, one, if you're just playing the game of buying and selling at a higher price, and you know that due to the project and due to the hype, it's going to increase in value and it's going to be a money grab for you, right? So if you see profit potential, then you buy it low, you sell it high, because you're not going to hold that thing forever. You don't care if the value goes down once the NFT hype is done. You're not going to have it then. Two is if it's a good brand, right? So something like the Bored Ape collection. You get access to the Bored Yacht Club. Like, it comes with other things too. It's not just a picture. You get to be part of the club. You get to do some other things. You get access to a couple events that are exclusive, and then also you get the photo, which is also copyright protected, so other people can't just take it and use it without potentially getting in trouble. You could get them in trouble for that. That's another thing. So And then also, it's just going to be if you just like the artwork and you want to support the creator for the price, or support for the price that it's listed at. So you really like an NFT, you think it's dope, and you want to own, or you just want the right to that link to that photo, then you pay for the NFT. But other than that, I mean, there's even been rug pulls in NFTs. Like they are not without concern. There are some security flaws. For example, because it's the link to an uploaded photo, basically that's what most NFTs are. Some are not. Some are not links. Some are you get the actual photo, but some are links to the photo. Because of that, if for some reason, let's just say I close my Google Photos account, you'll still have the link, but you click the link and it will go nowhere. Or I could always change the photo that link leads to, and then you end up getting a completely different photo as part of your NFT purchase. It's just there's a lot of things to consider. So basically, long story short, don't get too lost in the NFT hype, because eventually there will probably come a point where people start to become a little more educated on the process, and not all NFTs will moon like they are now. And just the select few, or the select ones that are actually fundamentally strong, copyright protected, give you more than just the photo, give you the actual photo and not just a link to the photo. Like there's going to be some changes in the way that people look at NFTs and assign value to them. So don't get stuck holding the bag there. So there's just a lot to consider with NFTs. But with that knowledge that I now have of that, I'm going to start getting into buying some decent NFT projects that give you the actual photo, are protected, give you rights to like a membership and all of that additional value, and then look to flip those. That would be pretty neat. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Talked about a whole lot in this 2-hour stream. Glad to be back. And also, thank you all for hanging out and providing the support for the stream, and lots to talk about. We will be back live next time something interesting happens. This could be tomorrow or Friday. That's the way it might be looking here. And by then, I think we'll at least see some movement on Bitcoin here that will give us an idea of what's going to happen next. And we can update our predictions. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream.